What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel. And today, as part of the fallout from the 2020 NFL Draft, we're just having a little bit of fun with some rebuilds. And this is going to be, we're not going to do every team to get a first-round pick, because obviously that is a lot of what the excitement of the new Madden 21 rebuilds are going to be. But there definitely are a couple of teams that we could just, to pass the time, that I kind of want to see what it looks like in Madden. And the keyword was fun. This is not going to be that fun. Philadelphia made a very surprising pick in the second round of the NFL Draft by drafting Jalen Hurts out of Oklahoma. How do I feel about this? Don't feel very good at all. We have Carson Wentz, but I'm trying to make sense of this, and I'm like, this could make it for a good video, because maybe, just maybe, after a certain dirty hit that knocked him out of the playoffs in the game against the Seattle Seahawks, maybe there's rumors, maybe there's murmurs, maybe Carson Wentz gave some sort of inclination to the front office that he could very well pull an Andrew Luck and just up and out of nowhere decide to retire. And if he does retire, maybe when all is said and done, Jalen Hurts in the second round makes a lot more sense than it all perceived to be from draft day. So what we're going to do here today is we're going to go act out this horrific scenario, which I hope in a trillion years never happens. But what if Carson Wentz did pull a Andrew Luck, retired in his prime, and Philadelphia would have to then go to 2020 second round pick Jalen Hurts? Well, that's what we're going to find out here in a nice little 5-year simulation. So we're going to take Carson Wentz, we're going to retire this young man, and we are unfortunately going to see what happens post life beyond Carson Wentz for the Philadelphia Eagles. But before we get into the rebuild, I would like to thank DraftKings for sponsoring this video. DraftKings, the leading daily fantasy sports brand in the world, is offering Madden simulations with all of your favorite teams going head-to-head on the virtual gridiron. How does this work? Well, you start by drafting a 6-man lineup of players with one team captain. Every player listed has an assigned salary, and you will need to use your best fantasy GM skills to utilize your $50,000 salary cap. Rack up fantasy points for catches, yards, and all the touchdowns your players score in the simulated games. There are multiple games running every single day, and DraftKings gives you front row seats to watch each and every game streamed live. You know me. I'll be making a lineup of the cheesiest players we know in the Madden sim. Zeke Elliott, Travis Kelce, and Deshaun Watson get in my lineup. New users use promo code C4 during sign-up and get a free shot at thousands of dollars in prizes. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. To give you a basis where the roster is, I have the roster as up-to-date as I can get. Obviously, the contracts for some of the new guys aren't going to be fully like up-to-date or fully accurate, but we do have the Eagles additions. We got Marquise Goodwin. We got Jalen Reagor, our first-round pick in the draft. On the offense, no more Jason Peters, the bodyguard, is gone. We got Javon Hargrave at defensive tackle. Jatavis Brown at linebacker, who actually comes in with a fairly generous Madden star dev, which I will take given the sheer lack of depth at linebacker for this squad. We got Nikel Roby-Coleman coming in. We re-signed Rodney McLeod. We got Will Parks, Jalen Mills making the move to safety, trying to find a way to replace Malcolm Jenkins. So that is going to be our squad. Can we win beyond Carson Wentz? Well, we do know from various Eagles sims that we've done in the years past, Philly is not a particularly good or easy rebuild team in Madden 20, because their salary cap situation gets unbelievably horrific. But maybe with Carson Wentz's contract off the books, and we did decide, like Andrew Luck, we cleared that salary cap off, so it's it's complete write-off. We have that salary now available. Maybe it'll make it a little bit easier to rebuild the Philadelphia Eagles. But yeah, I asked you guys on Twitter if you want to see it. You said you did, so let's get into it. Rebuilding the Philadelphia Eagles in the event that Carson Wentz pulls an Andrew Luck with Jalen Hurts under center. So we just simmed right through the first year of this rebuild, because we just did it at the 2019 season here. It started out well. Like, wow, this rebuild's gonna shock me. Through the first couple weeks, 1, 2, 3-1, 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, 5-3. We're 6-3 going to the bye. And I was like, man, should we just stop here and talk about it? After the bye, we lost all of our remaining games. So we got figured out. The Jalen Hurts offense got figured out. Statistically speaking, let's see. He was 19. I'll tell you right now, if he can put up that kind of yards, I'm going to be pretty goddamn ecstatic. I'd be shocked, though. 3,800 yards, 34 touchdowns, 15 picks. He's up to a 73 overall, normal dev trait. I think, we had him starting out as a 67 normal. That's probably what his base rating will be in Madden, but that's actually a good start to the Jalen Hurts era. We got 4 more years for him to continue to grow and develop. Below average season for Miles Sanders for sure. Alshon had a good year. Jalen Reagor, I will take those numbers for a rookie season, 100%. Almost 60 catches, almost 800 yards, and double-digit touchdowns. Any Eagle fan will tell you right now, if Jalen Reagor can somehow put that kind of season together, we'll be ecstatic. Defensively, Maddox led the team, 99 tackles. Jatavis Brown had 95 tackles, 2 picks, 94 tackles for Roby Coleman. Sacks are down, 7.5 for Brandon Graham, not nearly good enough. Interceptions are also pretty bad. We did get a dev trait, though, for Jalen Mills. He went from normal to a star, which is pretty cool. We might actually be able to build around him as a safety, which I would like to do because I've been saying we should have been moved to a safety really after, like, his second season on the Philadelphia Eagles. Yearly awards here. We kind of did cheat a little bit as I only updated the roster for my one team. Jalen Hurts was number 7 in the MVP race. Offensive Player of the Year, Garoppolo, Khalil Mack's there. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Obviously, again, it's kind of pointless, but Hurts played well, man. He did play well. Alshon somehow got best wide receiver in the National Football League. AFC Conference. What do you have? 1,110? That's not bad. I would love for Alshon. Alshon, a guy a lot of Eagle fans want shipped out of town right now. If he can come healthy next season and be the wide receiver 1 that he's paid to be, a number like that is not ridiculous to think if he could stay healthy, but a lot of mouths to feed now on this Philadelphia Eagles offense. And that's not even including, like Quez Watkins and John Hightower, the speedsters that we got on day 3 of the NFL draft. But this year is not about that. This year is not about implementing the Madden 21 rosters for the Eagles. It's about taking the big name players and Jalen Hurts and trying to win. And I think even though we didn't make the playoffs in our first season and pretty much collapsed after the bye, production-wise, we might have something here in Jalen Hurts. God, this rebuild's stupid, though. Carson Wentz, come. Why did you draft Jalen Hurts? Let's get into the offseason. For the sake of this, I'm just going to be using Madden-generated draft classes. Actual question. Do we want to pick up Derek Barnett's 5th-year option? I think right now the smart move is no. While he did recover that Brandon Graham sack fumble of Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, hasn't done a whole lot. Has definitely been underwhelming as a first-round pick. And just need to go back to the old YouTube channel, look at my live reaction of the selection of Derek Barnett. You know how I felt about that. Now, you know how I feel about this then. Draft recap from our first draft here. Pretty solid Madden-generated draft. Usually, it's not too hard. First round, we brought in a corner, Julius Burrow from Florida State, 71 hidden dev, trying to make Florida State, get them back in that DBU conversation. He's your typical Eagle corner. Sub 6 feet tall, 200 pound, like slot, best used in the slot. But in Madden, height doesn't really matter a lot in the sim. He's going to be a really nice looking player for us. There was another corner I do want to double check on that was projected to go in the second round, another early first round. But we got Marion here, not a scheme fit at all, just kind of go BP8 linebacker. Might be able to move an edge or something like that. We got Freddie Cochran, 70 tackle. We got a 65 linebacker. And he was a really good pick here. Bronson Young at a Syracuse. Last time Eagles got a Syracuse player, I think it was Donovan McNabb, but 69 hidden dev, was a UDFA, high bench press, you know what it is. But I do want to see this other corner, how he stacks up. I think he would have went, wasn't this guy? No. Bear with me. No, it might have been. I think it would have been this guy right here, Thurman Rainey from Ohio. Only a 70. Jesus, that's not that good at all. All right. Or was it this guy? This guy have a dev trait? No, he does. So, yeah, we got the best corner. I will take that. Ooh, it was Upshaw. It 100% was Upshaw. As soon as I saw the name, we don't need to play the guessing game. Upshaw, what was his rating? He actually didn't even sneak out of the first round. 76. Yeah, that was him. Raheem Upshaw, 76. Hidden dev, a little bit bigger, more of a perimeter corner. He has a star dev, so maybe our guy will have a better dev trait when all is said and done. But let's be honest, it's probably most likely going to end up being a star, but a solid draft class to kick off the Jalen Hurts Eagles rebuild. So let's get a tail of the tape of where our roster's at as we get ready for year 2. 84 overall, 87 offense, 81 defense. Yeah, I didn't do that. That was the sim. They signed Taysom Hill. Everyone's in on the Jalen Hurts meme here. If you don't get it, that's because that's how how the Eagles are kind of defending the pick. Like, oh, he could be the Taysom Hill for the offense. Oh, that's funny. You still got Alshon actually got a dev trait, so that's pretty cool. Deshaun Jackson, Goodwin. We're actually gonna bump Jalen Reagor up to be wide receiver 2 now. Maybe we put Arcega-Whiteside in the slot so we can try to see if we can grow and develop him. Offensive line looks solid. I'm gonna pick this guy. Bronson Young will represent Prince Tega Wanogo, who Eagles actually drafted in the 6th round. A lot of people regard it as the best value pick at tackle on day 3 of the NFL draft. So Young with the dev trait, that could reflect that, be similar. The offensive line is still good. We got the 2 tight ends. Defensively, nothing too crazy. Everything essentially remains the same. Burrow, we might want to get Burrow snaps sooner than later. I want Jalen Mills at strong safety. We actually... we could probably make Mills free. So Rodney McLeod, even though we have Rodney McLeod under contract, his development is peaked. He's not going to gain... He might get 1 overall point versus someone like Jalen Mills, who gained a dev trait last season. So let's do something. Let's put Parks at strong, Mills at free. Linebacker core, we got Nate Gary, Jatavis Brown, Avery here. Still a work in progress. Definitely still a work in progress. And Madden has, we invested in a corner. Eagle fans know we need a corner. But for Madden's sake, the Eagles corners aren't brutal in Madden. So probably could have went line. But there's no linebackers there anywhere in the draft. So we'll find a way to get Burrow some snaps here just to see what the dev trade is. It won't really matter if it's a star, which it probably is. But if it's a superstar, that could come back to bite us in the ass. Oh, man, he looks like a good, strong safety. Maybe we'll just do that. Sorry, Will Parks. You'll be our 3rd safety. If this was real life, if Eagles actually utilize a 3rd safety a lot of the time in nickel, but we'll actually have Burrow be our strong safety. Sure, why not? Why not? Let's make it official. We'll make him officially a strong safety, and then we're going to get into year 2. Year 2 coming out of the bye, 3-5. There is one positive, even though we're still bottom of the NFC East. And that positive is we can actually sign players in this rebuild. Usually when you have Carson Wentz, you have no money to sign anybody. So we're definitely in position to retain some of our own players. For the sake of the Rocket, first up, this is just because we created him here. So we'll get Jalen Reagor locked in long term. And that actually probably better represents a 1st-round contract. I definitely want to continue to grow and develop Sidney Jones here, so we'll get him as an outside corner. I think Derek Burnett from a Madden sense, even though we didn't pick up the 5th-year option, that's mainly because 5th-year option is like a huge $12-13 million contract. Let's try to get him down to a long-term extension. $10 million for Roby Coleman, though, is just way too much money. So we will re-sign Derek Barnett and maybe Nate Gary. That is not a great contract. It's not an ugly contract. And linebackers, I just do not have good luck drafting linebackers in the draft. So, yeah, we'll come back for Derek Barnett, and that'll be about it. Year 2 is finished, and still definitely not where we want to be, but we finished the season stronger than expected, but still bottom dwellers in the NFC East. But I guess when you get rocked with, your starting quarterback with concussions, whatever you want to call it, retiring, it is probably going to take you a little bit to rebound. And we saw Jalen Hurts last season played pretty well. Definitely played better than a 2nd-round pick. Here's a little bit. He's coming down to earth a little bit. Still not a brutal season. 3,700 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12 picks, 70% completion percentage. Offense is not getting it going, man. It's not getting it going. Defensively, we got Jatavis Brown has established himself as a pretty solid linebacker, getting a lot of tackles. 10.5 sacks, Brandon Graham. 9 for Fletcher Cox. So our sacks are on point. It was like our defense actually played a little bit better, except the interceptions. 2 picks by Sidney Jones, so I'm kind of glad we did. Actually, the 2 guys we re-signed had our only picks. Yearly awards, MVP went to Patrick Mahomes. Not surprised at all. NFC Offensive Player went to Saquon Barkley. Defensive Player of the Year went to Khalil Mack. Jatavis Brown coming in at 3. Rookie of the Year, what about Defensive Rookie of the Year? Hey, Julius Burrow, cool. Quarterback, he did not make the list. Okay, got to do better. We got to do better. Year 3 coming up. For free agency here, I'm actually gonna kind of stand back. We finally have a little bit of money, but there's no real upgrades for any of our positions. Like the one I was thinking is maybe linebacker, but even then, Nate Gary got a dev trait. He's 76 dev trait. We got 77 dev trait. These guys are serviceable for the time being, and really, obviously, the Eagles. Rest of the team's in win now mode, so. We know we got Rager at wide receiver with Alshon, and you could look at a value pick, but there's no real values here. So we're gonna keep our money here, so we won't be cash strapped like we are in every other Philadelphia Eagles rebuild we've done. So for our draft recap, we had a lot of picks. I didn't feel like sticking around after our draft board finished, so we let the computer get it out. They got Clem a 66, which is not bad. But our picks, we got Rod Boyce 70 normal tackle. We got a 69 guard. Might have a dev. No, he didn't. Josh Sanders. We got a 68 tackle. We got a 69 corner. And I decided to pull the trigger on a linebacker, the first round grade linebacker that I've seen in like ages. And he looks solid. Ron Nielsen, 73 hidden dev. Could take over most likely for. I mean, we just paid Nate Gary, but we're gonna find a way to get this guy snapped sooner than later. Year 3 for the Philadelphia Eagles, trying to not be the last team in the division. We're an 85 overall. No real changes for the offense. Jalen, he's up to a 70. He's progressing nicely, I guess is what you could say. Kind of peaked, though, after that first season. O-line solid. Man, Dillard is just not... Man, these guys are developing so slow. Dillard is not developing quickly at all, which is unfortunate because, he's the man that took over for Jason Peters. We're actually going to go and go a little bit of youth here and feed Josh Sweat. Brandon Grant could be like a sub-rusher for sure. Actually, we probably can make him DT3 because he does slide in inside sometimes. Secondary will be Maddox and Sidney Jones. Burrow, we got Nielsen will be starting at outside linebacker. We moved Avery back to defensive end with Jatavis Brown and Nate Gary. Jalen Mills at safety. It's a solid team. It's definitely a solid team, and we should probably at least not be last place in the division here in year 3. We had a really early bye week here in year 3. We're 2-1. So, hey, we're as of right now, let's just picture this. Positive thinking. We're first in the NFC East. We can keep it all the way through here in year 3. Contracts. I don't know what our salary cap's looking like. There's definitely some guys that we could shed some fat on the back end of the roster. So guys that are important. First up, we get Zach Ertz. We might actually have to let him walk. Kelsey, we do not have a replacement for. So they'll give Jason Kelsey a 1-year deal. We'll come back to the tail for him, obviously. I'm gonna pick Dallas Goedert here over Mr. Zach Ertz as the tight end to get our contract. We can't re-sign both of them. Alshon's been pretty good, but he's getting out there in age. Maddox, we do not have much depth at corner, so we don't want to let him walk. Beyond that, I mean, obviously Jalen Hurts, he's the whole reason why we're doing the rebuild. Josh Sweat could probably get a new contract. Maybe Avery, I'm not sure, but definitely I would say Hurts and Sweat will get contracts. That will be about it, End of year 3, this team's like the opposite Philadelphia Eagles. Every year, like mid-season, we're looking okay. And then they are awful, god-awful November, December. Whereas the Eagles in real life usually kind of start off shit, but they sort it out. They sort it out for the back end of the season. This team cannot do that, man. Like, let me see. Like, we already saw. The very first year 1, we lost every game after the bye. Year 2, we lost, out of the last 8, we probably lost 6 of the last 8. Let's see how many of the last games we lost here. 1, 2, 3, 3-2, 4. So we got 2-7 to finish out the year. So it's 3 straight years of team actually looks pretty solid, plays like an 86 Madden sim team, and then they always collapse. I'm getting very frustrated with that, especially because we paid Jalen Hurts a lot of money. 5th in yards, 29 touchdowns, 17 picks. Again, he's been okay, probably better than expected, better than probably expected when you clicked the video, but he still has a ways to go for sure. This is going to be a big offseason. We're getting younger. A lot of changing, a lot of moving pieces here. It's just, I don't know, man. Tyrod Taylor's runner-up for MVP. That's where we're at. And Jalen Hurts, top 5. Full credit to him. Top 5. Let's move on to year 4. So we're 3 years in, have yet to spend any money in free agency, but now we've freed up a lot of cash. Ertz is gone. We've got some other spots. So I'm actually going to go in here a little bit on 2 players. First up, Preston Williams to be our 3rd wide receiver, take over that Alshon Jeffrey role with Rager and Arcega-Whiteside. And then Chenowoshu, this is my gamble, that there's not going to be an edge rusher available for us in the pick, and we're going to, there's a chance we don't get him. It's not that much more of an audacious bid, but if we do get him, I'm going to move him to defensive end, where he's going to take over for Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, there we go. Trying to spend some bucks here. Draft recap. Pretty happy with how this draft shaped up for us, but, you could tell where we simmed out. But we got 67 DN, 68 tackle, 73 safety, and the creme de la creme Adding Preston Williams, and we're bringing in Tramon Brady from Louisville, 78 hidden dev, number 2 player in the draft. This guy's an absolute beast. Literally no weakness. Ideal everything. Speed, catching. He's going to be filth. Please have a good dev trait. Number 4 for the Philadelphia Eagles with Jalen Hurts as their leader. Here's how the team is shaping up. Man, we are just not getting developed. I'm using my normal rebuild sliders too, where like they're adjusted. Sanders is not developing. Dillard is just not developing. Brady will be our 3rd wide receiver with Rager and Preston Williams, who we got in free agency. On the defensive side of things, a little bit of change. Chenoweth will be D-end. Barnett will start. Sidney Jones and Nate Gary both have got superstar devs, which is cool. Definitely unique. But definitely some X factor. Some of these guys need to take another step. But with the way Nate Gary's been just racking up the tackles, you know, of course, Nate Gary would find a way in this rebuild to get himself a superstar X factor dev. But guys on the offense, man, are just... Rager hasn't been too bad. He got himself a new dev trait, but Miles Sanders has been disappointing, and definitely Andre Dillard coming in to try and replace Jason Peters. You might be argue Young might be the better guy to go there, to be honest with you. Bye week is here in year 4, 4-3, so we're not looking too bad. And of course, the year that we're looking half decent, the Redskins are 7-1. But I mean, you know, the NFC East could get that second wild card spot as long as we don't collapse like we've done in the previous 3 years. Contracts, we got Fletcher Cox. Absolutely want to retain him. We'll even give him a 2-year deal, 31 mil. Base, Jason Kelsey. I want you for a lifetime. 2 years? Thank you. Miles Sanders has been disappointing, but why not, right? Oh, he wants more money? You're trying to bend me over, buddy? We're going to let him hit the... He has not... I want to get him back because obviously Miles Sanders was unreal in real life, but he's not doing diddly squat here in this rebuild, and he wants more money. We'll let him hit the market, and we'll see. We very well might bring him back. He could be the best running back available, but running backs are available a dime a dozen in the Madden generated drafts, and you're bending me over, bud? You've got 1,000 yards once, okay? Dude, we were 8-3. We were 8-3. Loss. 8-3. Come on, Jalen Hurts thought you were a winner. All these Oklahoma fanboys coming in to defend the pay. Oh, he's a winner. Okay, oh, my God, man. Our December record has legitimately got to be like 1-15 2-14 in the last 4 years. Does it even make sense? Does the math even add up? I don't care. This is ridiculous. I've never seen a team collapse every year of a rebuild. Jalen Hurts, it is what it is at that point. That's pretty much the stat line you're getting from him, which is, above average, slightly above average sim stats. Miles Sanders actually fittingly had a breakout year statistically as soon as we didn't offer him a contract. Rager over 1,000 yards. Tramon Brady. What's the dev? Star? Oh, it's superstar. I can get down with that. We drafted a superstar wide receiver. Yes! Finally a good, productive first-round pick at a position that we desperately needed. Preston Williams is fine. Goddard was, let's be honest, Zach Ertz wasn't doing any better as our starting tight end. Defensively, Gary Hunt, a bunch of tackles, 9.5 sacks. Fletcher, that's a big year. Finally a good year. 69 tackles. Nice. 20 TFLs, 9.5 sacks. Picks are slightly up for the defense. Yearly awards MVP went to Deshaun Watson. In the NFC, I was playing the year Dak, Deion Jones. Ooh, Jake Elliott, best kicker. I thought Fletcher Cox might have been in there for a D lineman of the year. Either way, epic collapse yet again for the Jalen Hurts Philadelphia Eagles as we enter year 5, searching for our first playoff appearance, let alone first Super Bowl. For free agency here, I'm going to get a couple interesting picks. We got to get Dre Greenlaw. It's a scheme fit upgrade at outside linebacker. We're going to bring in Risner at guard as we let Andre Dillard hit free agency. Unfortunately, Jason Kelsey retired, so that's annoying. We'll have to draft a center or move one of our guards into center. And here's an interesting one. We did let Miles Sanders hit free agency because he didn't want a new contract. Here's a player actually I mocked to the Eagles that year, was for them to get Darius Geis at the bottom end. There's some reports that the Eagles meeting with Geis was pretty ridiculous. Sounds like something out of 1980s Miami Hurricanes player interview. But I don't know, hypothetical. I kind of wanted Darius Geis on the Eagles, and we get 1 year to see what he would look like in the green and black. So we hit on all three of the free agents, Greenlaw, Risner, and Darius Geis. And in the draft, we needed a D tackle, and that's what we did. We simmed out after that. We actually got some nice prospects. Turnbull out of Georgia Tech, 70 hidden dev. We got Pound, 71 normal dev. And this is the credit. He's got to start day one. Jaleel Rushing from Stanford. 6'6", 300 pounds, 76 hidden dev. I think he was number 4 in True Talent in the draft. Powerful man, 93 strength. It is gonna start in our final year of the rebuild right next to Fletcher Cox. All or nothing here for Jalen Hurts I don't know, I feel like it does mean something, okay, for him to win in Madden, to make light of the actual in real life selection of him. Either way, our team's 86 overall. I feel like we've done actually a pretty good job putting a team around him. We got Hurts is up to an 82, is yet to get a dev trade increase. We got Geis in the backfield, Rager, Preston Williams, and Brady as our wide receivers. 385s, Goddard 85, Lane Johnson and Brandon Brooks are still here. Sanders slides in from guard to be our new center, taking big shoes, trying to replace Jason Kelsey. Risner, our free agency signing at guard, and we're going young, star dev tackle. On the defensive side, Barnett and Chenowusu make up our DNs. Fletcher Cox and first-round draft pick Rushing will be our D tackles. Maddox, Sidney Jones, who's a superstar, and Short will be our corners. We got Mills still doing his thing, and Burrow at safety. Nielsen, Gary, and Dre Greenlaw will make up our linebacking core. Really, no weaknesses on this team. And I think, for the love of God, can we make a playoff run? Please and thank you. I'm just going to interrupt this broadcast. It's a shit show of a year. We're 4-6, so I'm, might as well hop in and get some gameplay with Jalen Hurts as the quarterback. So we'll hop in here week 12 against the 8-2 Dallas Cowboys. See if we can at least get a couple things for the whole highlight reel. All right, let's see what Jalen Hurts does here. Maybe Darius Geis out of the backfield. He has a set of mitts on him. All right, he can catch stuff. Hurts scrambles, throws on the run. The Darius Geis who actually makes the contested catch all the way up on the 1-yard line. Do we got, I wonder if we have QB keeper plays, like option plays. We do. Okay, we got the read. Okay, this is what we want. It's been a while. It's been since we've had Michael Vick on the Eagles that I've been able to use this. And we read it kind of correctly. It was, that's just not a great play call there. They had it stopped on both sides. Let's see. For the love of God, can I get a read option run here with Jalen Hurts? Got to read the linebacker, to read the defensive end. And we keep it. And he gets destroyed. It's not working out, C4. Stop trying to force it. It's not Madden. It's not NCAA 14. When I was actually able to run that effectively. So we're going to go on the goal line. We won't go slants because I already know the comments. Let's go stick. See if we can hit Dallas Goedert in the end zone. Come on. Jalen Hurts. What? Two. There's nothing there. Lane Johnson gets absolutely bodied by Tank Lawrence. It's 4th and goal, but the Eagles season is pretty much over. And beating Dallas, who's a much, it's Dallas in a Madden sim. They are well on their way to the playoffs. Beating them in their own backyard is more important than just settling for a field goal. Take way too long. Lane Johnson standing there blocking nobody. Turnover on downs. Let's try this again. 1st and 10 on the 10. Okay. We're just taking way too long and we throw a pick because, took way too long. Make a decision. Byron Jones, he's not even there anymore. Ooh, Preston Williams jump ball. I don't know why. Tank Lawrence is still an X factor. I actually think with that play, we were able to knock him out of it. So let's get a little RPO here. Here we go to Brady. And hey, Brady breaks an ankle. Gets in. Nice little touchdown drive there for the Eagles. Okay, back here in the red zone. Orchestrating drives here and there. Can we throw it inside the Diggs? Oh, and by Diggs I meant Geis. Don't use that. We're going to call in our slants cheese here. 3rd and 6. Trying to tie this game up before halftime. Would love a nice little Jalen to Jalen tutty. But they're pretty much body bagging us here in coverage. No one's getting open. We'll go for it on 4th down. Who cares, right? And then who cares? Slot drive. We still could get a 1st down here. I really want to try to find Dallas Goedert, but the Cowboys linebackers are playing super linebackery. Really good in coverage. There's nothing there. Eat the sack. Hey. See, another thing is we're trying to get stuff with Jalen Hurts. You just run the ball if we want to try to win the game. If we want to try to win this game, get back in, we're going to have to do it running the ball. Jalen Hurts is not a great passer. Jalen Reagor, for the love of God, can we beat Byron Jones once? Not one time. He doesn't even have an X factor anymore. But Byron Jones is running the routes better than Jalen Reagor is. So we're going to have to just keep, eating the middle of the field. Oh, let's go. Jalen Reagor tutty. Can Jalen Reagor make an appearance? And he does in the episode, tying this game up at 21 apiece. Just ignore that was a slant play call. Please and thank you. All right, can we get a fourth quarter comeback? I'll tell you right now, if we can find a way to get in the end zone, I'm going for 2 to try and win this game. We throw it to Dallas Goedert. We have no timeouts. That was actually not a good decision. We'll go 4 verts. Again, I doubt anyone's going to get open in time. We just got to chuck it up. Preston Williams with a horrific effort. I guess it wasn't picked off. Why do we play on Madden, man? Oh, Madden's so bad. Let's go 2nd and 10. I would just love one break in coverage here. Please. Where's Byron Jones? Because Byron Jones plays like the great, like Deion Sanders All-Pro. Like, oh, there's a sack. Is that Sharif Miller? Probably is. Game's over. Yeah. All said and done, failed to make the playoffs. The only thing that was beneficial to this team in the scenario that Carson Wentz pulls an Andrew Luck and retires, and we have to go with Jalen Hurts, the worst pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, is we kind of have salary cap to not have to implode right away. But yeah, man, it's just, you guys wanted to see it. I knew it wasn't going to work. It didn't work, but it was interesting. How about that rookie year, right? How about that rookie year? Jalen Hurts, 34 touchdowns, peaked for sure. What do you have, 2021? 2021 had the most touchdowns, I think. 36. No, he wouldn't. He'd about the same. Yeah, so that's this rebuild, huh? That's this rebuild. Well, I'm not going to spoil what we still have planned for some of the fallout of the 2020 NFL Draft in terms of rebuilds. I'll say, I don't even know what order these videos are coming up in, but on the top of my head, I think there's about 2 or 3 that I do want to do. Usually, obviously, they revolve around a quarterback, so we will most likely, because we've already done Justin Herbert on the Chargers. If you haven't seen that rebuild, go check that out, because it was actually one of the most overpowered rebuilds we've ever done. We've done Joe Burrow on the Bengals. We'll just leave that at that for the future videos that we may be considering. But let me know in the comment section below if there is something in particular you guys want to see from the fallout of the 2020 draft to be presented in a rebuild style that's kind of unaffected of the realistic rebuild series that is going to continue, obviously, until Madden 21. But that is it for me today, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.